We're taking a look and an update to a classic flashlight in this episode of the Gear Guide. So if you guys are familiar with the brand Element, you know the name is synonymous with airsoft accessories. And we're looking at one of their flashlight lineup, which they have a huge lineup of flashlights. And this is the Element M910 Alpha foregrip integrated flashlight. Now it's much more than just your basic flashlight. And obviously the first thing you see here, which is this whole thing right here, is you get a foregrip and the flashlight with it. It's made of polymer and metal here on the front where the actual front bulb is and on the end cap grip, and then polymer pretty much everywhere else with the exception of the mounting point, which is also metal, uses 2 screws here on the side. Now the way this flashlight works, it's powered by 3 CR123 batteries. So they fit up here in the grip. You unscrew this cap here on the bottom to access it. You put them in, positive side toward the top, screw the cap back on, and you're good to go. At the bottom of the cap, they have a on and off lockout switch. And I thought this is a really great feature they added to the light. So if you don't want to accidentally actuate the light, if you're running in a bright environment and give yourself away, you can actually twist this thing a quarter turn, it'll stop, and it prevents any use of the light. Any of the features at all are going to be locked out. So twist quick this way and then you're back up and running. So this is great if you want to store it away also, and make sure your batteries don't run down while you keep this thing between games. The grip itself has light texture in the back, really coarse texture on the front, and has dual pressure pads here on the side to both actuate the main light here. And the main light is actually a CREE Q5 bulb, and it's rated at 200 lumens. Even though the website rates it at 190, I'd say you're pretty darn close either way. On the back of this main part here, there's a little switch. The switch allows you to do constant on. So you can flip the switch here, lock it on, and the bulb is constantly shining. In addition to, of course, the main bulb, which is really tight, has a really strong focus center beam. In fact, at about 20 feet, we're seeing about a 2-foot circle. So this thing is really dialed in for those CQB battles. If you guys play a lot of indoor, this is definitely a light you're going to want to look at. Now, if you want to sneak around a bit, you can actually switch over to the secondary lights. And this is one of the features I really like about this foregrip setup here is you not only have a primary light that's really bright, you can blind your opponents and of course see your BBs in the air, but if you want to sneak around in a really dark environment and not give your position away, you've got a little thumb button that turns on these 2 little tracking LEDs. They're dim enough not to give away your position, but bright enough so you can see in very low light your way around. And on top of all that, they actually give you a little silicone cover to cover these 2 up just in case you accidentally bump the button, since it's right here on the back of the foregrip where your thumb would hit. So overall, I really like this flashlight, and it fits very well for those of you who play CQB a lot. It gives you a foregrip, it gives you a main flashlight, and some dim lights as well. Kind of 3 functions in one, all in a pretty darn affordable package. I guess if there's only a negative to this is there is a little bit of weight to this. They're actually a little heft, so it does add a little bit to the front of your gun. But again, if you're playing CQB, the extra weight's no big deal because you're going to be offsetting what you would normally have on the front of your gun with a flashlight and a foregrip all bolted on there anyway. So guys, if you're interested in a great CQB light or one you can take out to the games outdoor for a night event, check out the Element M910 Alpha, and you can pick this thing up at Airsoft Peak for right under $70 US. All right guys, so I gotta ask you, if you play a lot of CQB, do you play indoors? And if you do play indoors, are you really finding that if you have a flashlight or you're going against people with flashlights, there's a huge advantage of having lights? Or would you rather not have a light and just kind of sneak around in the dark and be stealthy? Because let's face it, when you do turn it on, you kind of give away your position. There's an advantage, but there's also that trade-off. Let me know in the comment section below. Well guys, that's it for this episode of the Gear Guide. I'll be back in the next episode where I review a steampunk flashlight that is actually candle powered. You have to light it and fill it up with wax before every game.